Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Jarl the Appian Way here. Today, I'd actually like to talk about something a little bit different, and that's going to be multiplayer battle etiquette. Because there are unspoken rules. There are certain ways that players expect you to behave. And I had a chance to play the same opponent in 3 battles yesterday. Mostly, I just wanted to test out as displayed on the screen, the exemplary Trojan slingers in the Paris roster. I wanted to give them a chance. But instead, I ended up in a bit of a back and forth with a guy that I don't know if it was his intention, but he kind of got under my skin. And I had to face him. So, but he chose to fight me 2 more times. I was the host of the room, and I didn't kick him out in any of the 3 games. But I'm not trying to say that what he did was necessarily bad. Sometimes you do things that come from a position of ignorance, and Total War Troy is nothing if it's not one of the most accessible Total War games to new players, in the sense that it was free for a whole day when it came out. Anyway, let's just talk about the replays. So this, as I mentioned, I'm playing as Paris. For my roster, I've picked a skirmish hero on a chariot. Why not Paris? Because I wanted to save about 700 funds. I also gave him the chariot that gives him a range of 205. I picked a heavy Trojan chariot to escort him. I've picked 6 Trojan warriors, 3 on each flank, very similar to how I play with Dardanian Mob, but almost twice as expensive. I picked 3 exemplary Trojan soldiers, which cost me 2,400 of my funds. It's a pretty big dip. I have 4 of the renowned Phrygian axemen, which are pretty much your only mainline option, and a Cyclops to support them. My intent here was to see if I could deal enough damage with the exemplary Trojan slingers in their 190 range and 72 missile damage with, how much was armor piercing? I can't remember. 9 points armor piercing out of 32 points of damage. My opponent is playing as Sparta, Menelaus, and I swear I think this guy watches my content, because his army and his tactics are pretty much perfectly tailored to all of the best features of a Spartan army, and on tactics that would specifically annoy me. Well, I'll show you what I mean. So the army includes cheap ranged units, which is a huge recommendation of mine, and a keen slinger here with 1 XP chevron. A couple of warriors of Artemis. They're not cheap, but they do have Vanguard deployed. He did have them up here in the center forest, as you can see in the minimap at the start. Is it just 2? Yeah, 2 of the light spear runners, which I think you need to take every time. I would take 3 personally. Here's a renowned slinger. I guess he had just a little bit extra money, but he did put 1 XP chevron on it. Hold on, let me turn off the foliage. I had the foliage turned on for the testing yesterday. He brought Laconian swordsmen, which are one of my absolute favorite units on the Spartan roster. Here's another renowned slinger, and of course 4 armored spearmen, tanky, beefy, bugged. And Menelaus is on foot so that he can use his divine challenge. And what does he do with this army? He takes up the central position with a ridge right here to defend his rear, and a ridge right here to sort of protect his left flank. And he's going to sit here. He's going to sit here for the whole battle and dare me to come get him. And the best I've got is to try and shoot some arrows from my archer skirmisher through the tree line without getting my shots blocked. And as you can see right there, one of my arrows actually did get blocked. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my my hero away from this. I recognize that his army is in here now, and he does have cheap ranged units, and there goes another arrow blocked by a tree. Thankfully, though, I do have 10 kills, but probably on... Oh yeah, it does look like I did manage to get some damage on a armored spearman and some damage on a renowned slinger. So I am getting some damage through and killing a couple of units. Here's some Laconian swordsmen I killed. I'm going to send my heavy Trojan chariot all the way around to the rear end of this, but he is going to see it coming and is going to deploy his army to protect his rear flank. I'm going to go ahead and start moving up my Trojan warriors into positions where they can threaten the flanks and get protected in the tree line, and I'm going to very closely and very very carefully move up my main line and my Trojan slingers to open fire on his slingers. As you can see, as I start moving my chariots closer and closer in the rear, he's going to move up his swordsmen, he's going to reposition his units, and then he's going to start opening fire with the Warriors of Artemis. My slingers are going to open fire on this. These armored spearmen, though, have plenty of missile block chance, and since they're in the tree line, they're also getting an additional, slightly different missile block chance, and the trees as well. So I'm actually going to retarget and go for the Renowned Slingers. I wonder if his light spear runners are... No, they're in shield is on mode. So as you can see, I've moved my Trojan Warriors up. I'm hoping to bait out ammo from the light spear runners and from the Warriors of Artemis. He's going to see my Trojan Warriors have already approached over here. I'm basically just going to try and push right through, try and ignore the spearmen and go straight into the skirmishing line. The problem I'm going to run into here, of course, is that the light spear runners are going to turn around and engage me. The mounted spearmen are going to try and slow me down. They're a heavy armory unit, and I'm, like I said, I'm just moving up my my Trojan Warriors and trying to create breaches. Like, I go all in on this light spear runner here. I'm gonna pull out, and actually the armored spearmen are coming with me, and deal a ton of damage with these chariots that are pulling out. Well, not as much as I would have liked. But as you can see, I was able to get them out, but they took half their health. My slingers are still trying to target their slingers, but as you can see, the Renowned Slingers actually do have a shield, and their block chance is a 35%, and they also get a 40% block chance for being in the tree line. His slingers, however, are targeting, and I think this is a mistake, my Renowned Axemen, which have a 55% missile block chance. The Exemplary Trojan Slingers are doing a fantastic job against this Renowned Slinger. This is really what I wanted to figure out. But I mean, it would make sense that my range units would do better. The Exemplary Trojan Slingers are far better than a Renowned Slinger. He's going to start trying to focus fire on my slingers now. As you can see, though, because he's in the tree line, it's taking me a lot of my ammunition to get the damage done that I need to get done. So I'm going to go ahead and start preparing another assault here with my Trojan Warriors and my chariots. As you see, he's protected his rear flank and his right flank fairly well, and he is getting some melee infantry into position over here to face my Trojan Warriors. And I'm getting the javelins out of the Laconian swordsman. I want him shooting at my Trojan Warriors, so I'm trying to put them in more accessible positions, but as you can see, my Exemplary Trojan Slingers are a perfect target for them. I probably ought to move back, since I do outrange these units, but I was too busy trying to see if I could find a way. I engaged these 3 spear units. I would quickly lose, but it does offer me a chance to get my heavy Trojan chariot through and into this Renowned Slinger that was already routing, that had been routed by my Exemplary Slingers, and got a break, and I'm going to push through and try and get into the Warriors of Artemis. I just tried throwing a boulder, and it did land inside the Renowned Slingers. I probably should have targeted these spear units up here because there are no trees in the way, and the boulder would have hit that. And as you can see, I ran over most of the skirmishers. I'm pulling through here. I'm running over some light spear runners. I'm being chased by Menelaus. I get into the side of this armored spearman, and the Renowned Slingers are pretty much out, and I'm just going to try and pull all the way through the forest now, but you can see my Trojan chariots wavering. They get pulled back in on this somehow. I guess I saw an opportunity to hit these lighter units, and I'm going for it. My slingers are now trying to target down the light spear runners. I did throw a boulder there, and it bounced right off of a tree. This is the downside, so now I'm moving up my Renowned Phrygian Axemen, let them expend their javelins. I'm going to charge my Cyclops into this, and my slingers, they're out of ammo. So what do I have now? I have 3 decently numbered, I mean, I guess 2.5 after you count this one, guys with 125 damage swords. Their melee attack's only 28, their melee defense is only 26. Their morale is 76, though, which is fantastic. They do have 47 armor. I guess this one got debuffed. And I still have half my ammo on my Hero Skirmisher. I'm proud of the damage I've done to his army. But unfortunately, Renowned Phrygian Axemen are not going to stand a prayer against Armored Spearmen. The Armored Spearmen are bugged out, so on the one-on-ones, I'm definitely going to lose. I might have a chance on the 2v1s. Get a great boulder there, crossing into the Light Spear Runners. It's wavering. It might break. Yep, there it goes. It's broken. I'm going to get my my regroup Trojan Warriors to chase off Warriors of Artemis. And as you can see, like, I have to put my exemplary Trojan slingers out here on the flanks to try and make something happen. I wanted to try and pull this one straight through here. Yep, there it goes. I'm going to try and wrap around and get behind these spearmen so I can beat them, because the Phrygian Axemen don't have much of a chance. This Key and Slinger regroups, but this is weird. This happened in the battle. It's broken, but it's shooting. So I'm just going to go ahead and push it off of this Trojan Warrior anyway. And then the Light Spear Runners come back. My Cyclops isn't able to finish off this Armored Spearman yet. As the Renowned Phrygian Axeman actually breaks in the middle of that encounter. This Renowned Phrygian Axeman breaks once the Laconian Swordsmen arrive. And over here, I'm just not getting the damage done I need to against Menelaus. I'm trying as hard as I can with my Archer Skirmisher hero. But now that I'm in melee here, I'm quickly losing this battle. The balance of power had been against me from the start, but now my Phrygian Axemen are on the run. There's a decent boulder from the Cyclops, 65 kills. I try to get my hero in here for a quick hit, but I'm noticing that I'm breaking all down the line. I'm going to activate an Aristea here any second, and just try to pull through and deal some melee damage with the units that are not in the trees. But these Armored Spearmen really slow down a single large entity, and he's going to collapse in on top of him. And I spend so much time just trying to spam his movement orders. I saw his morale dip with army losses, and I activate his Aristea. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. I'm hoping I can get some quick kills, like on this Light Spear Runner that was off on its own. A hero does not count as a chariot when it's on a chariot. It counts as a large unit. So I know that even in like things like tall grass and with Light Spear Runners on foot, I'm absolutely just going to demolish them. I ran that unit completely over, but their morale is just fine. I'm hoping to get some hits in. I'm hoping to come down here and hit this Light Spear Runner. It disappeared into the tree line for a second. Here comes my attack order. Just crash right into it, end up in the trees, try turning around. And this is where my hero just completely gets pinned. He does just fine in this melee. Light Spear Runners are very good, but I'm not able to pull him out, and once the Aristea ended, the battle was over. And that battle with Bruno Francis here, it annoyed me because he did everything pretty much picture perfect with the way the meta is in the game right now. And his gameplay would frustrate competitive Total War players. It would frustrate players on the grounds that just sitting in the trees and not attacking is the most protected way to play. He did what some players call noob boxing or defensive geometry, and he just turtled up right there in that tree line. And while it is the most effective and most efficient way to play, it's annoying for competitive Total War players because it doesn't allow the opportunity for creative maneuvering or outflanking. And like I said, I'm proud of the job I did with a notoriously bad melee faction in Paris against that formation that he gave. In the end, it was one of those things where I just kind of have to sit back and go, yeah, well, okay, GG. Had it been in a tournament, the tournament rules would have required that at least one of Sparta's units have been in an active attack mode for the entire time. You have to have at least one attack order going at any given time. So if you're going to attack with one unit, you might as well attack with all, because if you send one unit out on its own, it will just get mobbed and destroyed. I gave it my best to try and outposition him, maneuver in, but in the end, I will admit that I was a little annoyed after that battle, and that actually I'm going to blame myself for, because there is no chat function in the game. I can't tell him, hey, it's not cool to noob box in the forest. And ultimately, he's playing with the game as the state of the game as it is, right? He played the best strategy he could. He picked the best units, I feel, especially for facing Paris, and he played it the way the game is designed, essentially, with turtling up in the forest. So let me show you. I didn't kick him out. I wanted to play him again because after that match, I was a little. Like I said, I was a little steamed, and I was like, okay, you want to roll like that? Fine. I'll bring some cheese, too. So yeah, I wanted to play him again. I still wanted to play as Paris, but I thought, you know what? I could be a little cheesy, too. So let's first of all talk about my army and my deployment zone. My deployment zone is the east portion of the mini-map. And I knew that there was this stretch of forest right here that he could deploy in, so I put my entire army right here. Because my opponent, as I saw, brought Odysseus and Ithaca. So first thing I did was I wanted to eliminate the possibility that he deployed over here in my left flank. The cheesy thing I did, I brought 2 heavy Trojan chariots. And I put my archer skirmisher hero again. I picked that and put him in a chariot. And yeah, I guess my plan was that, like, I'm just going to go chariot heavy on him and try and beat him that way. I did bring 2 of the exemplary Trojan slingers, 2 XP chevrons on each one. The core of the army is mostly the same. This time I brought 5 renowned Phrygian axemen, and I brought 2 Trojan warriors to help me explore for the enemy army, and I brought a Cyclops. Best mythical unit in the game. As Ithaca, he brought Odysseus on foot. This way he's able to use most of Odysseus's, all of Odysseus's abilities. He brought a core of warriors of Ithaca. I think there's 3, 4, 5 of them. He also brought 2 of the Midnight Runners. Very, very good unit. 2-handed spear, charging unit with javelins. He brought exemplary ambushers, 2 of them, and a guerrilla stalker. And the guerrilla stalker has an XP chevron. And the warriors of Ithaca have 1 XP chevron for a little bit more melee defense. And he deployed right in front of me. I started exploring out this way with my chariots. My Cyclops is the one to discover the army, and I immediately run away. Do not want. Get me away from this. Hoof it, buddy. Hoof it. Oh gosh, if this isn't the thumbnail, I don't know what is. He's just like, nope, 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 nope. I beeline it. I beeline it for my army. The Midnight Runners continue to chase, and I get really lucky here in that I pull him out of position. Of course, he was in the forest again, which had me going, but hey, he didn't stay there, and this is to his credit. He came out to attack me because, and I think he felt that I was caught off guard. I didn't have my chariots ready to engage him. The renowned Phrygian axemen and the exemplary Trojan slingers devastate this Midnight Runner on the charge. And, I mean, the damage they put off is incredible. With their, I know their kill numbers are pretty low right now, but this renowned Phrygian axeman got a ton of damage done there. This one's getting the work done here. I changed targets. I shattered that Midnight Runner so quickly. And now that his warriors of Ithaca have come out, I'm sending in my chariots, and I'm wrapping around with these renowned Phrygian axemen. I get, oh my goodness. That just cleaned a line all the way down into the Midnight Runners, that boulder. That was a fantastic throw. I'm going to have to record that again just to get a close-up of it. I loved that. But yeah, now I got my chariots in on here. I'm moving in with the renowned Phrygian axemen to close in on the flank. And it's charge time, buddy. Right into the side of the engaged medium infantry, the warriors of Ithaca, pulling right through. And they're just so heavily damaged. And now I'm able to get my Trojan warriors in to flank these units with Phrygian axemen already engaged and throwing javelins. Another boulder gets thrown in there. All that's left really are his guerrilla stalkers, his exemplary ambushers, and Odysseus. Odysseus is shooting and killing the Cyclops pretty effectively, but his infantry is pretty much done with that flanking attack with the heavy Trojan chariot. Oh, what another boulder. And my opponent conceded the battle. I think he was right to in this instance. At the time I was like, really? Rage quitting? come on. And then I realized, no, he's right. I had that one. I still had plenty of ammo on my slingers, and he didn't have any infantry to protect his skirmishers at that point. What was going to happen after that was, even with the chariots, I was going to go in there and clean off the rest of his units, even though he was in the trees, because I had completely turned that battle around by pulling him out of the tree line, which proved to me that he isn't a forest camper, and made me feel kind of bad about the first battle and how I felt about him. So that's another note on some Total War multiplayer battles etiquette. When it's obvious, it's okay to concede. It's okay to admit defeat. You don't have to play it out to the last second. And in that first battle, I did, when I probably would have been better off conceding once it was clear that I wasn't going to lose. Let me show you this turned into a best of 3. I got a third game with him. He didn't leave the room. I stayed with it. He stayed with it. So I felt like we were still on competitive good terms. There was still a respect there. So here's the third replay. Bruno Francis 11 here did not change his army. Same army. And this map is, honestly, it's tailor-made for Odysseus. He has some options. His deployment was the north end of the map. I really like this position over here, and I was half expecting him to set up here, get a line of warriors of Ithaca here. You could set up some ambushers up on this ridge. You can't be outflanked. You can do a lot of work with this position. But he picked an even better position, and you could do this as Odysseus. Look at this, alright? It's in the scrubs, so he's protected with the missile block chance. He has the ability to deploy in here with the Warriors of Ithaca with their Vanguard deployment. He has 2 narrow approaches, and he could set up all of his skirmishers right here and just shoot anything that's coming at him while protecting anybody from assaulting. It's a really, really good position for a forest camper, right? And my deployment was the south end of the map. Again, some other really good positions for Odysseus, but only one spot where he could immediately threaten me, and that was over here. So I send 3 militia warband, 2 with 1 XP chevron, 1 with 2 XP chevrons, to check this portion out just in case he deployed there. I went with 5 renowned Phrygian axemen again. I brought 3 exemplary Trojan slingers, and I actually had the funds to put 2 XP chevrons on each one. And instead of heavy chariots, I brought Trojan noble chariots. They're a medium chariot, but they also have bows, and I use them to escort a defender companion hero who has the healing ability and can keep these guys healthy for a while. Not as heavy as the heavy chariots, not as likely to knock over enemy units, but Odysseus isn't known for heavy units, and I just had a feeling he wasn't going to bring any. So this one takes a while to get started. I'm going to go ahead and scout out, as you do when you're facing Odysseus. You don't know where the enemy is. I check out this position up here. I get close to the trees. I'm trying to see if I can bait any ranged fire from him. Nothing happens, so I know he's not up here. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my Phrygian axemen in a line right here, because this is a really good defensible position, and I'm going to do some scouting with my chariots. I decide I'm going to move them up here. And since I have my renowned Phrygian axemen protecting this breach, I'm going to send my militia warband back to check out these scrubs. And as you can see, he is sending midnight runners, but they have stalks, so I can't see them over here yet. I'm just sending my my light militia dirt cheap warbands to go and check this out just in case there's anybody out there. I move these guys up, and Odysseus starts opening fire. I don't know if he was on fire at will or what, but these javelins are also shooting.
He's under attack.
And that's when I realized, okay, yep, he's up here. He's in this spot. Crap. I have to think about how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull my chariots back. I'm not going to just stand there and let them get shot at. Set them up over here. He's moving up the exemplary ambushers to be the first wave. He's got these guys protecting this approach. He's got those warriors of Ithaca protecting that approach. And I sit up here for a second and I have a long think about this. I'm going, okay, how am I going to clear him out of this position? What am I going to do? Well, I can go ahead and I can start moving forward and push up, you know, in the one direction he kind of wants me to come from, but not both directions. Just go in one way and try and punch a hole through. Maybe my chariots will deal the damage. I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and start moving up my defender companion to bait ammo. And as soon as I did that, I found the militia warband found the Odysseus Midnight Runners and started taking damage. I immediately pulled them back. I know this is a fight they're going to lose. I had already started moving my defender companion up, and I realized, wait a minute, if his Odysseus Midnight Runners are over here, I should go that way. He makes the same conclusion. He realizes I found his Midnight Runners. He's moving his army out here to support his Midnight Runners. I move my army up on the top ridge to support my militia warband. I move my chariots down the bottom ridge to cut off their escape route if they realize what I'm up to and turn around. And that's when I found he was moving his army to support. His warriors of Ithaca were out in the open. They do have stalks, so I just got really lucky that I sent my chariots down that way, and I gave the attack order. I went, they're out in the open, I'm going to attack, and as soon as the attack order was made, my opponent quit. This time, I don't feel like it was appropriate to quit. I had just pulled him out of the scrubs for maybe 5 to 10 seconds. That was it. And he decided that as soon as he saw the chariots coming for his medium infantry, nah, that's it, I'm done, I'm out. I feel that 2 chariot units is an appropriate number, and other members of the Total War community somewhat agree with me on this. I haven't seen too many dissenters. I've actually seen people suggest that you should bring more, that you should be allowed to bring more than just 2 chariots, but it wasn't like I was bringing chariot spam on him. And all I managed to do was catch him, was pull him out of position. That's the only way you can fight somebody who decides that their strategy is to camp in the forest or in the scrubs. You have to try and find a way to pull him out of position. I got lucky that his Midnight Runners weren't with his forces, and I was able to yank them in. Yeah, so I don't feel like it was I don't feel like that was appropriate in our unspoken Total War multiplayer etiquette. There is a good time to concede defeat. There is a bad time to concede defeat. And before I even kill any of your troops, that is a bad time to admit defeat. In his defense, he might have run out of time. That might have been all he had. He didn't stay in the lobby after that game. He was gone almost as soon as he quit. Maybe his computer crashed. It was a 3rd game in a row. I don't think he was on a potato. He was loading up in a decent time frame. But I mean, this is just how it happens sometimes. So I'm not saying that he quit. I'm saying that I'm using this as an example of if you do feel compelled to rage quit, try not to. I don't know. It's don't play a game if you're not having fun, obviously. But just pay attention. You know, give your opponents a chance to play. You know, it's multiplayer. We're all here to have fun with it. If you have a bad day, you have a bad day. I was proud of myself though, for my performance in these games, because the one that I lost, I managed really well against his Sparta build. I did get an opportunity to test out the exemplary Trojan slingers in that second battle, especially against those Odysseus Midnight Runners. Ultimately, though, I didn't get the material I wanted to really explore the exemplary slingers, but I did get plenty of material to talk about multiplayer etiquette, and I hope this is helpful for you. I mean, the big lessons that I took from these 3 battles are there's an appropriate time to concede defeat. Maybe wait until we get a chat box, because then you can just be like, you know what, you got this one, GG, let's play again. You can do that. You can when there's a chat box. Right now we don't have chat. Don't concede a fight before you even take any casualties. That wasn't a checkmate, not yet. The battle was just starting to kick off. If it was a rage quit, again, I don't know. And then last but not least is always try to be actively attacking your opponent. That's how competitive people play. Don't just so just turtle up. Don't just use your defensive geometry, noob boxing, and don't just sit in the forest. That's the meta right now, apparently, but it's not something that Total War fans appreciate in competitive multiplayer. There we go. I've been rambling on long enough. I hope you found this useful. I hope you agree with me. If you disagree with me, let me know. Tell me how wrong and stupid I am. I like that too. I try to reply to every single comment I get, and I've been pretty successful in that lately. And I like having these conversations. Let me know your thoughts. Again, I'm for playing strictly Paris of Troy yesterday and getting the results I did. I think I did pretty good. All right. Ta-ta. I love you all. I'll see you in the next video.